So like I bat about 80%, so 8 out of 10. But you'll notice that on my 2 losers out of every 10, I probably lose like 1.5 versus, the one that I gain on a winner. So it knocks out about 3 total. And so I'm gaining about 7 out of every 10 with that.
Hey guys, welcome back to Library of Wealth. Today we have Gareth Soloway on the Crypto Factor, giving his take on the drop in cryptocurrency across the market. Gareth has begun getting confirmation of Bitcoin specifically, and the continuation of the move up to the 25,500 level. He confirms that there is a chance we could go through to a level 28,500. Even though Soloway is in the position where he doesn't believe we will advance to a higher level, he thinks that there is still more of a downside. Gareth took profits with a long position in Bitcoin and still has a similar position in Ethereum as well as other digital assets. With his current level of exposure, it's a short-term strategy to play up into resistance levels, and once there, he'll be looking to take more profits. Let's listen as Gareth Soloway talks about the issues with more potential lows being in the crypto environment. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content we do here on this channel. Let's get right into the video.
And it looks to me like we'll head up to this 25.5 level. That's the pivot low from the Terra Luna collapse over here. To me, that's the big level next, at least the next target. I do think there's a chance we go through that, maybe all the way as high as about 28.5. But again, for me at least, I'm in the position of whether it's 25.5 or 28.5, I'm not thinking that we get through that high level. And I think there still is some more downside. Now, I am still currently long Bitcoin. I did take some profits today. FTT, I pulled my profits there. Avalanche, I took some profits there, but I still have some Ethereum long. I still have some Bitcoin long. I still have some Cardano, Polkadot, Chainlink. So I still have some exposure as we ride this wave. But again, it's not a long-term play for me. This is a shorter-term play up into these resistance levels. Once we get there, I'll be looking to take profits and basically rinse and repeat. And that's what I've done for so long. It's worked out very well. My few things that bother me about the potential low being in is that we still haven't seen enough disruption in the overall crypto market. So you go to coins, they've all been discounted, some of them 95%, some of them 90%. Even Ethereum is down significantly, although the bounce has been just absolutely awesome on Ethereum. But to me, I look at that sector and I'm like, how can this many coins still exist? And if this is the bottom and now we're headed up, how does that work? How do we have so many coins in the system at that point? So for me, that's one of the issues. And also looking back and comparing it to the .com era, you haven't seen that full capitulation. I mean, we did see fear when we were below the 2017 highs, but we didn't see that all out, like throw your hands up in the air, crypto's over kind of mentality, which is usually what notes the bottom. In fact, 2018, that was very similar to what we saw. We saw this kind of, oh my goodness, Bitcoin no more kind of thought. And then that was the bottom at 3,500. So that's an issue. And then my other issue would be is even though I do think the Fed, like you said, is going to essentially stop hiking by later this year and probably even start easing in 2023. The question is, why are they doing that? And my guess is you're starting to see a real destructive event going on in the economy, right? And if you see the NASDAQ starting to really collapse down, and I don't think the NASDAQ's bottomed by any stretch, I think it's got to go down 40-50% at minimum, then what you're saying is that you'll see a pivot in Bitcoin where it starts to strengthen when the NASDAQ and the stocks actually go down, which I actually agree eventually that happens. Yeah. I just don't know if this is the time frame where that happens. So I think that, it's definitely a possibility. If there's one thing, just like Game of Thrones, if there's one thing I know nothing, kind of, nothing Jon Snow, right? You have to respect the charts, that they're the ones that are always right, and you just don't know. But for me, I'd be amazingly surprised if all of a sudden it's the new bull run and here we go to the upside. Now, I will show this. I do have a level that I'm watching. If we take out this level and confirm, then I would tend to agree with you on that, right? So if you connect the high from 69,000 here to this high, notice how this line is right around 30,000 right now. It will slope down right into this 28,000 area, probably in about a month or so, right? Now, if we somehow get above that, then that is a breakout on the charts. That would get my attention. And I think that would be the one case where I would say, okay, now I actually kind of do believe that the bottom is in, and now we could go back to 69, 70, 80, 100,000 on Bitcoin. But until then, we're still in a pretty steep downtrend. And really, if you look at this move, even if we go up to 25, 26, or even 28, that's all an inside bar bearish pattern from this move down, or better yet, even from this move down. And the last thing I'll just mention is that I still have a measured move where you take this high here to this low here, right? And then you had this consolidation pattern, right? So we have this kind of sideways channel. And then if you take that same distance from here and you extend it out, you actually get right around 12,000. So this line is the same as this line, and that gives me that kind of bottom area. So again, anything can happen, and that's the beauty of investing and why it's so freaking fun.
Of course.
But for me, I'll take that opposing bet. I still think we're going to 12, 13,000. Unfortunately, I even think there's a chance we could go lower, but let's take one step at a time.
Soloway is bothered by not seeing enough disruption in the cryptosphere, as even Ethereum is still considerably down. Gareth wonders if this is the bottom, how can so many coins still exist, and if we're heading up, how this will play out in the future. He also explains that even though the Fed will stop hiking later this year, the reason why they're implementing this is because we will be seeing an extremely destructive event coming down the line. NASDAQ is actually starting to collapse, and along with the stock market's downfall, this will actually strengthen Bitcoin.
So I think that, you may, maybe the top 50 survive, maybe, who knows, and there will be new ones that have great use cases that come out, just like new companies come out all the time. But I want to see that period where anyone speculating on the 1,001th cryptocurrency by market cap, that needs to be wiped out. That can't be in the system anymore unless there's a real use case to it. And people will argue there is, right? Oh, this one is about cats, or this one's about dogs, or like, and for me, I'm just like, really, we're in the real world here where you actually need to have some sort of use case that's legitimate. Okay. So I'm in the camp that we just have a couple weeks left of bullishness before the next move to the downside. So again, keep in mind, we're in the summer months. They call it the summer doldrums in the stock market. So I think that's important to recognize. Volume is very light. That tends to favor the upside. I think the fact that you're seeing crypto moving is getting people really excited. They're like, all right, we're back to the good old days of 2021. But again, my guess is by mid-August to late August, you start to see us starting to come back in a little bit. Yeah. And again, keep in mind, we're going to be watching inflation numbers, but more importantly, so inflation, I do think, comes down. It's watching these economic numbers. How fast is the economy slowing? And if you get some really nasty economic numbers, the markets are going to start to freak out about a recession and how bad it could be. And then what can the Fed really do? I mean, what if inflation still only pulled back to 6% and we're in a recession? The Fed can't print money. And that's going to be the ticket to the next leg lower in the markets, in my opinion.
Yeah. Soloway believes that most currencies should be wiped out, with only the top 50 coins surviving. Then new money will be able to come out that have fantastic use cases. Gareth says that speculating on the 1001 currencies by market cap needs to be wiped out, and only assets with legitimate use cases remaining. Soloway notes that watching inflation comes down to watching the economic numbers and seeing how quickly the economy is slowing down. If abysmal economic numbers are seen, markets will begin to panic about a recession coming. And if inflation can only be pulled back by about 6% and we're in recession, the Fed can't just print more money, which will take us to the next leg lower in the markets. What do you guys think about Gareth Soloway's prediction of the impact of inflation in the current markets, as well as the crypto landscape? Let us know in the comments below. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Library of Wealth. We'll see you in the next video.